Well, I think the balancing act that President Obama and his allies have to strike is this strike has to be serious enough to be seen as a serious punishment for a heinous and quite large-scale chemical weapon attack. So it can't simply be a pinprick, it has to be substantial. But on the other hand, this is not about regime change, it's not about changing the balance of forces in a war. So it can't be so massive that it's seen as the beginning of an effort, as in Libya, to degrade the whole Syrian regime capability. And as a result of that, I would expect something lasting maybe 2, 3, 4 days, primarily using cruise missiles, so other armaments may be involved, attacking Syrian conventional military capability and some of the assets, command and control and so on associated with that, some of which might be seen as more political. But it'll be mainly about, I think, conventional military capability, ground forces, perhaps also air forces. Well, I think that there are two risks. One is the Syrians may retaliate against neighbouring countries like Jordan or Turkey or Israel who have backed these attacks, and that creates real problems for the West in terms of how they then ratchet up. But there's also a risk that Assad, in the next few days or weeks or months, uses chemical weapons again, perhaps on a smaller scale. And there's all sorts of possibilities for him to test whether the West is prepared to do this all over again. And I think the dilemma for the West is that if it doesn't work this time, then there'll be a lot of pressure on them to escalate much further, to have a much larger scale of attack. And the bigger the scale of the attack, the more you are into shaping the whole future of the war, and perhaps the more difficult it is for the West then to back off after a second wave of